one was high arcing, about to hit the ceiling.
And so now Anderson, he's going to pass to Brizzy. Towards that top of the key, he's going to stop with it, searching for the next recipient as he finds Kevin Holden. Holden now going to take a three in his defender's face, but that one's off the back iron and rebounded by the Nanooks. Now bringing it up is O'Keefe. He's going to pass to Lee. Lee now maneuvering his way towards the top of the key as he drains a three in the face of Jordan Clark.
These two teams love to shoot the three ball. Watch out for more.
Now Garrett Anderson in about the same spot himself as he passes to Brizzy. Brizzy now going to get mobile with it as he hands it off to Jordan Clark. Clark on that right side, collapsing from the three-point line as he passes to Maverick Sanders. Sanders now, he's going to bully his way inside, but he's unable to get the shot to fall. Wildcats retain possession as the ball finds its way out of bounds.
I like that matchup of Maverick Sanders on Jalea O'Keefe, though. He seems like he's a bit stronger than him. I want to see more of that post-up and even the fadeaway game from him, too.
As Jordan Clark gets ready to inbound now, he'll send it into Brizzy, and that's a quick 2 points for the Wildcats.
Or go to the most efficient man in the GNAC,
Yeah.
67% from the field, Mitch Brizzy. It's just too easy.
As now Sams Hoy, he's going to pass this one over to O'Keefe, who will lose the ball. Maverick Sanders comes up with it and sends it over to Garrett Anderson. Anderson now driving, stopping, sending it out to Brizzy for three, and he's not going to be able to make that one.
The crowd wanted it. We wanted it. The shot didn't quite want it. It didn't fall.
Nothing but twine on that one, but you've got to respect the opportunity one way or another. Here come the Nanooks as Kevin Holden almost had Chris Lee lose the ball there real early. Now the pass is going to be made out left. That one for Kaiten Sadu, as the shot from the three-point line is not going to fall for O'Keefe. And now here comes Anderson once more on the drive. He's going to stop, get the shot up, and just like that, that's about as well of a clinic as you can put on how to create separation.
Yeah, from deep in the paint, mid-range, it really doesn't matter for Garrett Anderson. Three-level scorer.
So now O'Keefe making his way out right, stopping, now driving, and he's going to lose it as now Kevin Holden with the ball in hand. He's going to drive, make the pass over. It was intended for Clark, but it'll be knocked out of bounds by the Nanooks, and a timeout will be called before we get to see before we get to see action resume. So we'll take 1-2. Be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action, alongside Jackson Roberts, as we get ready to detail for you the following bit of action from this matchup between your Wildcats and the visiting Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. Now there's a little bit of ball movement around the exterior here as the Nanooks have the ball in hand first coming out of the break. It's going to be Chris Lee, the recipient of the pass here on the exterior, as now he drives, trying to go up against Kevin Holden, and that one's going to be off the back iron. Rebound goes to Bradley Swilly, who is freshly checked into the game. As he approaches from the left side, he's going to hit Anderson, who will miss the spot-up three.
It was on target, though, just a little bit too short. And something else that's kind of a storyline brewing in this game is no Zevenberger either, who, like I said, second leading rebounder in all of the GNAC, and he is out. So that is a huge W for the Wildcats here.
As now the inbound going to come from Eli Williams. It goes straight to Bradley Swilly here in the right side corner. Now he's going to approach, take the step back Jay, and that one is off. As now bringing it back up are the Nanooks once more. Specifically, Sams Hoy's got it. As he approaches, driving that shoulder into Kevin Holden as he gets the shot up, and that one will fall.
That seems to be the Nanook's main target right now. Just post up Kevin Holden, make the shorter man work for it.
And so now Eli Williams. He will have the ball in hand for the Cats here. Head out left to find Bradley Swilly. Swilly now goes right to Mitch Brizzy. Brizzy driving that shoulder on the inside. He's going to go to Garrett Anderson on the perimeter. Anderson now inside to Brizzy, and they're going to call the foul on that one. So Mitch Brizzy will head to the charity stripe for a couple of free throws.
Good find from Garrett Anderson, too. Mitch Brizzy was cutting to the basket. And I want to see Brizzy definitely back up and post up a little bit more because, I mean, I felt like he had the advantage there. It doesn't seem like his defender was as big as him, and now Mitch Brizzy will have 2 free throws for himself.
And so the first one will fall, 8-9. Now your score with just about 5.5 gone in this first half of action.
Shoots from the line at a 75% clip as Maverick Sanders will check back into the game.
And now the second one coming from Mitch Brizzy. It is up, and it is good. So Mitch Brizzy does a good job there, gets both of them tacked on to the end of the board as the Nanooks will see how they can respond. Lee with the ball in hand on that right side. He's going to look to get it over to Sams Hoy, but instead he's not going to be able to quite then, as the three-pointer is first put up and knocked down by Katan Kathan Sidhu. As now on the other end is the Wildcats once more. And I just realized, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies to the families of Sidhu, as, yeah, that's unfortunate. On the other end, it's a Jordan Clark 3-ball, as then now the Nanooks look to get something up on the board here. As Lee with the ball in hand, he's driving against Sanders, now making his way back out to the perimeter. And working inside, the Eli Williams defense is going to be too strong there, as the rebound will fall with the same name. Now Williams coming in from the outside. He's going to stop for a moment, take his own spin around jumper, and that one is off before the second chance opportunity is secured by Brizzy. And they gave him the and one call on that one too.
Yeah, a little bit too much body as he was going up for the putback. Kind of got shoved in the side. And Mitch Brizzy's going to have another one from the line.
And so we will see how he's able to do. Back to what I was saying just a moment ago. My apologies to the family of Kathan Sidhu, as it was put on my page not correctly the way that his name was structured. So my apologies on that one, ladies and gentlemen. One way or another, Mitch Brizzy will be shooting the free throws here once again. We, of course, just saw him at the line, and so we'll see what he's able to do. He'll have a quick release from the duties after that made shot, as Calvin Sisk checks into the game.
Yeah, great rebounding from Mitch Brizzy. Like I said earlier in the pregame show, that I want to see us get those offensive rebounds too, because this team does not allow much of those.
So now Sams Hoy, he's going to step back to the outside, use a screen, make his way forward. Elbow shot will fall. So the mid-range team is what Fairbanks is.
They can shoot. They can really shoot.
So now Eli Williams with it. He'll go out right to Swilly. Swilly back that left direction for Sanders. Sanders approaching, finding Sisk. Sisk back out. Sanders, wide open three, and that one is off. Rebound goes to nobody, and it's going to be Fairbanks basketball.
Swilly almost mossed a man for that rebound.
Yeah.
I thought he came down with it, but he just lost the handle a bit, bounced out of bounds, and retains possession for the Nanooks.
And so the inbounder will be Griffin Effenberger.
I'm noticing really good defense from the Wildcats, at least getting a hand on it, but they're definitely attacking the mid-range. Like you said, Ryan, they're looking like a mid-range oriented team tonight.
So now Chris Lee approaching with it. He's going to swing it back to his man wide open on the outside, Jackson Krug. And, yeah, that's just not what you want to do if you want to win a basketball
About
game.
everyone on this team can shoot, Ryan, so we've got to stay up on the perimeter.
As Bradley Swilly now approaching from the outside, and he's going to get one to go. So a mid-range for Swilly makes it 17 all.
He saw a couple middies fall, and he said, it's my turn.
Now Chris Lee, ball in hand. He's got the screen coming from Krug. He's going to use it twice. Now stopping, sending it out right to Sams Hoy. He's going to stop and send it to another recipient who will miss a long 3-ball. That one attempted by Effenberger, as Eli Williams going to grab the ball after all that. and he's going to pass to Swilly. Swilly now loses it for a second, but keeps it in his possession and finds Sanders to his left. Sanders now tries to go inside for Sisk again, who just getting bullied on the inside, man. As on the other end, Sam's Hoy is going to miss a layup.
I'll say a couple of missed calls on both ends of the courts right there, I feel like.
And so here comes Maverick Sanders. He's going to find Eli Williams wide open in the corner. Give him 3.
The freshman. Good spot-up shot in the corner. Going to give the Wildcats a 20-17 lead.
And so a couple men getting ready to check into the game for Fairbanks, but we'll see what they can do on this offensive drive as Lee's with it. He's going to send it out back to Krug. And now with the ball in hand is O'Keefe. O'Keefe now to Lee. Lee using the screen from Krug. Now driving. He's got the 7-footer against him. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do anything there either as Krug misses the layup. And now here's Eli Williams. He's going to pass over to Swilly, who will give it right back as Eli Williams in his face. Wow.
Eli Williams getting hot from the three-point line. 2 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, can you hear me now? That'll wake you up real quick. Chris Lee with the ball in hand on that right side. He's going to make his way further into the corner before tossing it into the backcourt. And that'll be a backcourt violation as the Nanooks starting to fall apart here at the Nicholson Pavilion. We'll be back in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. .1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action, alongside Jackson Roberts, as we get ready to detail for you the next in a 10-minute 47 remaining first half of action. Now, the Wildcats are on a bit of a hot streak here, I'd say. The momentum definitely in their favor after what has been an intriguing beginning to the matchup. And it will be the Wildcats with the ball in their hands as Kevin Holden inbounds it to Eli Williams. So Williams now approaching the three-point line as he sends it out left to Jamari Harris. Harris now to Holden as Holden finds Sanders. Sanders going to work against his man inside now. That O'Keefe as he's going to take the fadeaway mid-range himself. That one not going to land. So now O'Keefe's got the ball in his hands as the Nanooks bring it back to the other side of the court. He's going to make the pass now to Effenberger, who will approach inside, but he will travel before any sort of shot is able to be put up. And just like that, the Wildcats will retake possession.
Well, that's what we're going to have to force them to do. I know they hit a couple of mid-range shots earlier and had a couple inside, but I want to force them to keep going inside. We have big bodies in the paint and athletic guys too. So just defend the perimeter and let them work on the inside. And that way we kind of minimize what their strength of the game is, which is their three-point shooting.
And so now Kevin Holden going to inbound to Eli Williams, and we get started once more. Williams moves it to Brizzy. Brizzy now hand off to Jamari Harris. Harris now going to give it over to Sanders. Sanders back to Holden. Interesting movement here by the Wildcats as Holden uses the screen from Sanders. Makes a pass that's intended inside for Jamari Harris, but it's going to get taken away. And now here are the Nanooks moving the ball around. It's Johnson with it on the outside now. Working against Mitch Brizzy. He's going to drive, stop, turn around, put up the shot. And that one is another travel leading to yet another dead possession.
Man, they're practically back to Alaska right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would be I'm happy I'm not coaching either one of these two teams, as Eli Williams is going to head out right before sending it out left to Sanders. Sanders now goes inside for Brizzy as Brizzy searches for the next recipient. He's going to back his man in, and that's an easy 2 points for Mitch Brizzy. I mean, if you're not going to bring anybody in on him, he's going to make you pay for it every time.
Well, Sadu is just not big enough to guard Mitch Brizzy in the paint.
So now Griffin Effenberger going to drive. He's going to now make a pass over to his man in the corner, but not before his man steps out of bounds. So a very harsh streak of drives going down for the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
And it's an 8-point run now for the Wildcats. It was 17-17 for some time, and now a couple of three-pointers by Eli Williams.
We are into what would be the second quarter of action with just about 9 minutes remaining in this first half, as now Mitch Brizzy with the ball in hand. He's going to try and work his way inside again.
Keep it up, big fella.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And they're going to call a travel on that one. So, whole lot of traveling. And, I mean,
bring your passports.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we expect that for the most part, but okay. And now a timeout going to get called by Alaska Fairbanks. So we'll take 1-2. Be back with you in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For all of our basketball fans out there, if you were wondering, it was released a little bit ago that Mark Williams' physical fell through, and the Lakers will no longer be trading Dalton Connect to the Charlotte Hornets. So a little bit of outside news there, as now we'll see what the Nanooks are able to do against the Wildcats coming out of the break. Jamari Harris going to poke it away, and talk about a wild card. There's a steal. Give it to Sanders. Now to Williams. He's going to stop, and no fast break fireworks here. And we're back into traditional excitement level as Kevin Holden driving, and he's going to attempt a crazy pass to Maverick Sanders, trying to do too much with it.
And the whip around over his head.
I mean, listen, it was close enough that I don't blame him, but one way or another, not necessarily the way to do it.
No, not the most efficient way of finding your open man, and he already is a top 5 man in assists per game in the GNAC. So, I mean, he has the right to occasionally do a flashy pass. We got to know the situation, too. It's too early in the game for something like that.
As now Chris Lee is going to hand it off to Johnson. Johnson sends this one out right as the 3 ball is put up and missed by Sadu. And now here comes Garrett Anderson. Anderson just checked back into the game as he's going to send it over to Clark. Jordan Clark now. He's going to send this one to Brizzy as Brizzy gives it right back to him. Now using the screen, he heads out left. Stops at the mid-range and is going to miss the shot. Rebound going to go to Sams Hoy. As now Lee's going to play a little hot potato with him as Sams Hoy drives forward. A blocking foul is called, and the shot is missed.
Yeah, I don't think his feet were completely set there. Caught himself a little bit up in the air, and that's kind of the reason why he fell on his backside.
And so just like that, a timeout called on the court. We'll take 1-2. Be back with you in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg. 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready to detail for you the final 7:52 of action between your Wildcats, or I guess of the first half of action between your Wildcats and the opposing Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. Now we're awaiting the free throws now from Isaiah Sams-Hoy.
72% shooter. A good free throw shooter, as well as the team's leading scorer, too. I think referee is telling Sams-Hoy to back up. I don't know if he was too close to the line or.
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it doesn't really make it so easy with the free throw marker that the Wildcats have here at the Nicholson Pavilion. There's a couple of different trim lines on there that could be mistaken as the free throw line itself. So, yeah, that's a notoriously difficult thing.
Best court in the GNAC, though.
As now the second shot will fall, and that's going to cut the lead down to 6 for the Nanooks, or excuse me, for the Wildcats. As
their first 2 points in minutes, long minutes.
As now Garrett Anderson's got it. He's going to make the pass over to Mitch Brizzy. Brizzy going to drive that shoulder against his man on the other end, and he's going to get that to.
Oh,
he's not going to be able to get that one to go. See, now watch that and take a note of it for later, because I assure you we're going to see that multiple more times throughout the remainder of this matchup, and I am very intrigued as to how it's going to be called.
Coach Rinta, during his last time out, was telling specifically Jamari Harris and other guys to just stay on the perimeter, let Mitch Brizzy just post up his man. He's bigger than Sadhu. So, like I said, I definitely want to see Mitch Brizzy keep on posting up and even just using his little floater and using his wide frame to get into the paint.
Yeah, I mean, Sadhu has definitely got a forwards frame. That's what you want to.
But
they're
missing Zevenberger,
right?
So.
Yeah, so I imagine that is the typical 4 for this team. Now a pass that is a little bit offline here is going to end up in the hands of Johnson. Now they're going to give it to Sadhu, who passes to Johnson once more. He's going to hit his man on the right side, and the 3 ball is going to be put up and off by Chris Lee. Now, Jamari Harris is going to get a lot to go there as he flies through, gets a hand in, and now the Wildcats get 2 points off of it on the other end.
Garrett Anderson does such a good job of just using the contact in front of him and just staying up in the air, floating up there, and then being able to get a shot off the glass.
So the Wildcats with 3 men getting ready to check into the matchup. As now on the other end, a 3-pointer is put up and missed by Jalea O'Keefe.
That's something Sadhu has against Mitch Brizzy. He has the athleticism advantage there.
As now it's Williams. He's going to send this one inside. Brizzy throwing that shoulder against his man again, and a foul going to be called. And this one will be, of course, against Sadhu, as Mitch Brizzy gets ready to shoot free throws. For a moment, I was a little bit scared they were going to call that an offensive foul, and I was like, listen, man, even if he gets hit in the face, he has to be responsible for where he's putting his face at.
Yeah. Well, Sadhu's already got 2 fouls now, too, so I wonder if we see him check out of the game, but their big man depth might be lacking.
I was going to say, you have to be intrigued as to how many guys they even have backstocked that they can go to there.
That's Mitch Brizzy's first missed free throw of the game, so glad to see that he's getting to the line a ton, and maybe he finds himself continuing to get in a rhythm.
And so now, the second of 2, getting ready for Mitch Brizzy. Up it goes, and down it falls. 28-21 now your score. As a 7-point lead looks better for the Wildcats than the alternative. And now we'll await the inbound on the other end to get started with the remaining 6:32.
Wildcats have led almost this whole entire game, and they've been leading in all different kinds of categories, too. Rebounds, too, which is important, which, like I said, against this team who's so good at what they do on cleaning up the glass.
And so Lee, he's going to move this one to Johnson. Johnson is going to lose the ball for a moment there before passing it back to Lee, as now he drives against Kevin Holden, and that's a easy layup as he's going to be fouled as he goes up as well. So.
Yeah, I don't think Cav needed to foul him there either. Just had a hand on his back, pushing him a little bit too forward. Just enough momentum where he's going to get the call every single time. So Chris Lee is now going to be at the line where he shoots 77% from.
And so a chance to cut the lead down to 4 for the Wildcats. We'll await the shot here as it gets put up, and it will fall.
O'Keefe will now check back into the game. It's going to be forced to do. But look at this. They do not have many big men on the court right now, and neither do the Wildcats really, but Maverick Sanders seems like he may have the biggest size advantage here.
Now Jordan Clark, he's going to drive right for a second before sending it back up top to Maverick Sanders. Sanders going to give it to Holden, who takes the step back midi and nails it.
Oh,
wow.
Gross.
Yeah. As now bringing it back up is Chris Lee on the other end, the Nanooks point guard. He's going to pass to his man out left, Sams Hoy, who will get the layup to go.
Yeah, Swilly got hit in the face there too, and so I'm surprised there was no call.
And so Jordan Clark's going to pass out left to Anderson. Anderson back to him in the corner. Clark to Anderson. 3-ball. That one's off. And rebound going to fall for Sams Hoy. So once again, here come the Nanooks, who have been dealing with some pesky defensive pressure all night long. This one's going to get hucked out of bounds by Griffin Effenberger. And here come the Wildcats once more.
Yeah, to your point about the pressure, it just feels like every single time anyone has the ball in their hands for the Nanooks, Wildcats are there almost getting a hand on it or just like all up in their face, really.
And so now Swilly's going to pass to Holden, who gives to Anderson. Anderson now going to drive.
Whoa.
He's going to lose the ball after, quite some theatrics. But now on the other end, it's intercepted by Holden, who will then go for it. And he's fouled on the attempted shot.
Yeah, great job on the anticipation there from Kevin Holden, just creeping up behind the opposing Nanook and just stealing it away like an NFL defender and taking it to the paint, but gets the foul. But he's good from the line, too, one of the better in the league, 80%, so in that upper echelon here in the GNAC.
And that will be the first foul of the game against Jaleo Keith, so interested as to how the foul matchup is going to continue moving forward. 4 for the Nanooks versus 3 against the Wildcats. As Kevin Holden's going to hit the first of 2.
Gaining his 3rd point on the night tonight. We didn't quite see his regular scoring output last game against Anchorage, but it's really any given night for Kevin. There's nights where he can really explode or he's just using his facilitating abilities to benefit the team.
And Holden's going to get them both to go, so 32-26 your score, and a 6-point lead go the Wildcats.
Ooh.
As now a foul going to be called as Griffin Effenberger can't make it past Jordan Clark. And they will result in an inbound by the Nanooks. 5 minutes remain.
Wildcats came into this game with momentum because they've been on such a win streak now, and of course that game winner the other day. But also the Nanooks are on a 5-game losing streak, so momentum's staying in the Wildcats' side right now with the lead.
So now Chris Lee going to send that one out right to Sams Hoy. Isaiah Sams Hoy goes up, and was that whistled?
Yep.
For a okay.
It was close. I saw Eli Williams definitely was all clean, but they're going to call Kevin Holden for getting him on the backside.
Very, very intriguing on that one. They called that against Bradley Swilly.
I thought he held up 2.
No, that was 3. The 3 that he put up. That was very odd, as one way or another, the free throw's not going to go in the first time anyways. And so Mitch Brizzy checks into the game for Bradley Swilly.
Following his first foul of the game.
And now we'll await the second of 2 free throws.
It gets loud here in the pad. It is not an easy place to shoot at.
And that one will fall. So just like that. And whistles will blow. Oh, just to check in.
Substitutions.
Number 20, Jackson Krug.
Krug hit a 3-pointer earlier.
Yeah. As now we'll await the inbound for the Wildcats. 32-27 your score. 5 points separating the 2 squads. Williams going to hand off to Sanders as Sanders now goes to Anderson. Anderson to Brizzy, and Brizzy to Holden. Holden now to Sanders as he's going to find Williams once more. Eli Williams back to him. Now throwing that shoulder against his man as he takes the roll out mid-range, and he gets it.
I love that shot from Maverick Sanders. He seems like he really loves shooting from that exact spot, too. You saw him hit him a couple the other day.
So now Chris Lee going to send that one out right to the Krugster. As then it goes that way one more time to O'Keefe. Now to Krug. He's going to go and throw that one up, and now he'll find his way to the free throw line again.
Yeah, that was a good pump fake, too.
Yeah, the Nanooks now only one foul against them, away from being given free shots for the rest of the night.
Yep. Kevin Holden got caught up in the air there, and then Krug did a good job of kind of leaning into the contact a little bit. But either way, with momentum on Kevin Holden's side, he was flying into him for the foul.
And so now here comes the free throws. First one is off by Krug. We'll see if the second one has any more luck.
Coming into this game, Krug has yet to miss a three-pointer. And then also he shoots 75% from the line. But let me double check, but I'm pretty sure he's still 1,000% from three.
You said he's interesting, as now the second free throw will be missed.
Wow.
So both free throws off for Krug. And this has not been a good free throw shooting day for the opposition. Williams going to move it to Brizzy.
Look at that
Brizzy
mismatch,
now
too.
back to Williams. Now Brizzy just throw the shoulder, man.
Yeah.
Just throw the shoulder. He's going to work
There he
against
is.
Krug, and yeah, he wasn't even
No.
leaning against him, and there was movement. That was a good job of finding the mismatch, as now Xavier Kamalu Vargas, who's recently checked into the game. And so
Media
now we're going to
timeout.
get a timeout as the shot clock is off by half a second. And so we're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we will have the remaining 3:46 in this first half of action. .88 the Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action, as well as Jackson Roberts, as we get ready to detail for you the final 3:46 of action here from the Nicholson Pavilion. As of right now, the Wildcats lead it by 9, 36-27, though some interesting happenings on the court now, as the Nanooks are going to bring this one up. Now, the Wildcats a foul away from putting the Nanooks in the bonus, so we'll see if they're able to play with some more conservative defense here.
Sams Hoy really knows how to get to the basket.
As he did on that last play, putting 2 up on the board. Now Xavier Kamalu Vargas with it. He's going to send it inside for Brizzy. Brizzy now going to work against his man. Now double teaming, as he's going to find this one over to Williams, and that's a quick 2. So just like that, using him as a decoy real well.
Good find and really strong hands from Eli Williams. He had pressure all over him.
And so now here's Chris Lee. Lee going to step back as he gets ready from the three-point line, approaching and shooting over Brizzy. He will get that one to go. Yeah, I don't know why the center ends up on the point
that's
guard
a
in
mismatch.
that. That's a terrible transition defense. But now Xavier Kamalu Vargas going to collapse from the outside and send it over to Williams. Williams now to Brizzy. Throw that shoulder, man.
Get out, Coach Rinta says.
And
Everyone.
now Mitch Brizzy. He's going to send it to the outside with Anderson, who will drive and get the layup to go.
He just rises up so high. His head looked like it was almost at the rim there.
This is exactly the way that the Wildcats should be playing Mitch Brizzy, frankly, is using him as that piece to kind of draw away some attention from the remainder of the team.
And he has passing abilities, too. He's showing it off.
He does. As now collapsing is O'Keefe, and he's going to get that one to go.
Well, they're doing a good job of fighting through contact as well. When we've fouled them, they've had a couple and one opportunities, as that one's going to be on Maverick Sanders. A little bit too much hip into the shooter.
So now we'll see if he is able to get the shots following to go.
there are two of the top two best free throw shooters in the GNAC, Jordan Clark and Keith O'Neal, or sorry, my fault. My goodness, O'Keefe, man. But yeah, he's 95% from the line on the season, and he's just so consistent that it's virtually automatic.
And so the inbounder following the free throw shot will be Swilly as he sends that one into Eli Williams. Williams now brings it up for the Wildcats, who lead it by 6 over the team that they've put in the bonus now. Now here's Garrett Anderson. He's going to toss to Mitch Brizzy, and we're going to do it again.
There's a theme occurring.
Working against his man, and Mitch Brizzy scores again.
It's the Mitch Brizzy game, everyone.
It absolutely is the Mitch Brizzy game, and I have not enjoyed it. I have not enjoyed it any less than I thought that I would. I actually kind of love this.
11 points on the night.
As now Chris Lee heads out right. He's going to drive his way back to the perimeter as he's got Brizzy in front of him again. I don't know how this happened again.
Little push off.
He's going to not be able to get anything up over him this time, as now it's Paul Johnson hitting the 3 ball. The Wildcats lead now sits at 5 as Bradley Swilly passes to Anderson. Anderson on that right side. He's going to drive in through the wing, and he's going to be fouled as he gets the shot to go, but we'll see if they're going to.
On the floor.
Yeah.
Man, either way, great play there from Garrett Anderson. Arm.
Yeah, I mean, one way or another. I imagine that's what they were saying, contact on the arm. As now the inbound coming from Bradley Swilly. It's going to go straight to Mitch Brizzy as Brizzy's going to retreat for a moment, give it over to Williams. Williams now to Swilly, who will put up the mid-range shot, and that one will fall. So the Wildcats firing on all cylinders here over the last while.
Swilly's second bucket from the mid-range. It seems like his go-to spot right now.
And now less than a minute remaining in the first half of action as the Nanooks collapse. Now it's going to be Sams Hoy getting another layup to go. Man, if he could dunk.
It doesn't matter who's in the paint.
Yeah. Let me tell you, though, he would be an NBA draft pick if he was dunking on all of these layups where he's got his head over the rim and going over people. It's actually kind of incredible. I love watching his game. As now Xavier Kamala Vargas in the corner, he's going to send it over to Garrett Anderson. Anderson now to Brizzy as Brizzy's going to hand it right back. Anderson trying to fool his man. He's unable on the first attempt, that is now on the second one. He's going to take a step back 3. That one almost got my heart rate remembering fond moments as Chris Lee is going to hold it, at least for the next second or so, until they look to get the last shot to go.
They want to get Brizzy on him.
The seduce screen, and now here's the shot over Brizzy, and it will not go. So at the end of the first half of action, 44-39 is your score. The Wildcats lead it by 5. Folks, we're going to go ahead and send it off to a break. When we come back, we'll have your halftime report for you here on 88.1 The Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning back into the program. Of course, this is your halftime report. I am Ryan Gildersleeve, your play-by-play broadcaster for all of tonight's action, alongside Jackson Roberts, my color commentator for the game here. As folks, we've seen a very intriguing first half of action between your Wildcats and the University of Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. Now, Jackson, what did you see throughout that first half that really contributed to the Wildcats' current 5-point lead at 44-39?
Well, I'd say a big part of that is the bench points. Wildcats have 12 bench points to the Nanooks just 3. And those 3 came from Jackson Krug on a 3-point shot. The Wildcats bench, while it's only 2 people who have scored, Bradley Swilley and Eli Williams have come off the bench, been great spark plugs, especially Eli Williams hitting 2 threes and also getting a layup in that first half to give him 8 points. So I think it's definitely the bench. And something I'd love to point out about the Wildcats bench is Brandon Rinta's usage of the bench. We use about 10 to 11 guys in a lineup, while we see other teams using their 7 to 8. So I think it gives a lot of resting time to our Wildcats starters like Garrett Anderson, like Kevin Hold'em, for them to be at their prime position for this second half of the game. So I really love how Brandon Rinta uses his players, as well as just being able to put them in the right spots. And we hear him coaching from the sideline right there. Everyone move out. Mitch Brizzy, just take it, back it into the paint. And so I love his game plan. And also, something we haven't talked too much about Coach Rinta is after this game, say we win, he is 1 win away from career win number 100. So cementing himself as a CW Wildcat legend already as a player in his past, too. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out there, too.
Absolutely. As one way or another, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, listen, we've been able to call games over the last 3-4 years now. And, Coach Rinta has had pretty incredible performances in each of those seasons that I've watched. Of course, last year bringing home the GNAC throne and then going on to compete in the playoffs. And it's just, a really, really great situation to be able to have a coach that truly just cares about the program as much as you can tell that Coach Rinta does. Now, folks, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see throughout the second half of this one, because throughout the first half, it was interesting, to say the least. The way that these two teams were going about scoring was not the way that you would necessarily expect. A lot of Mitch Brizzy involvement, which I'd like to see carried into the second half. Now, my thing is, I don't know if there's much that Fairbanks can do to negate that unless they just signed a center at halftime. I mean, if your guy is hurt and then your second guy is not operating very well at the 5 spot, if I'm Central Washington, if I'm Coach Rinta, I'm still going to keep feeding Mitch Brizzy on the inside.
I think there's only one guy in this building who could maybe maintain Mitch Brizzy, and unfortunately for the Nanooks, he's on the Wildcats side with Maverick Sanders. So I don't really think there's anyone else that is suited up for tonight's game that will be able to stop Mitch Brizzy. So hey, I'm excited to see Mitch keep on feeding himself in the paint. He's already got 14 points, and I mean, it seems like he's going to be on pace for almost a 20-point game unless the Nanooks make a huge adjustment here in the second half.
Well, one way or another, 20 minutes has been loaded back up on the clock, and we are just about ready for the second half of action to begin here from the Nicholson Pavilion. Folks, thank you again for tuning into our broadcast here tonight. I am Ryan Gildersleeve alongside Jackson Roberts, and let's get started with the second half of action. Chris Lee bringing it up for the Nanooks as he's going to make the quick pass over to his man Johnson. Out left, he's going to use the screen and head out right. Now with Mitch Brizzy in front of him, he's going to go back out left again as they again tried to use the mismatch with Chris Lee and Mitch Brizzy. This time, though, trying to go inside, and it didn't work out so well. Garrett Anderson with the ball in hand for the Cats. He's going to drive, stop for a moment, and the foul's going to be called. This one should be against Caithan Sadu.
Yeah. Garrett Anderson does a good job of stopping his momentum and then getting into his spot to shoot, but that time pump faked it and then got a knee to the back there. Hopefully he seems all good, but
now the inbound coming from Jordan Clark. It's going to go straight into Holden as Kevin Holden now puts the shot up, and that one is off. Immediately rebounded by Paul Johnson as he passes over to O'Keefe, and they kick it off on the Alaska end. Now here is Sams Hoy, ball in hand. He's going to take the 3 ball, and he's going to miss the 3 ball. So now here goes Mitch Brizzy passing up to Jordan Clark. Clark now going to head to the left side. Anderson out left, Sanders out right. That's who he'll pick. It'll go that direction once more with Holden before being passed into Brizzy. Brizzy now back to Jordan Clark as he's going to pass to Anderson. Anderson tries to come up and around, and he's going to dish to Brizzy, who gets another couple of points. So give Garrett Anderson the assist on that one. Give Mitch Brizzy his 16th of the game so far. As now Lee's going to pass out right. That one to Sams Hoy before it's moved to Johnson. Johnson now back up top, and a whistle is going to blow. This one will go against Maverick Sanders. And both teams
foul,
now tied at 1 foul.
So Maverick Sanders' second foul of the game. We already see Jordan Clark with 2 and Kevin Holden with 2 as well. So got to try to limit these fouls, but the referees have been a lot less hesitant to call than we've seen, personally, in these last few games.
As now it's immediately inbounded to the man Sadu. He's going to hand that one off. And now driving, stopping, shooting, and missing will be Sams Hoy. So not the way to kick it off for the second half that you'd like if you're Alaska. And 3 men left it open. It's like they wanted to watch him yam.
Man, the convoy all the way to the paint. It was just wide open.
Timeout called on the court. We're going to take one, too. We'll be back with you in just a moment here on 88.1 The Berg. .88.1 The Berg, your music central. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready to detail for you the remaining events of this matchup between your Central Washington Wildcats and the University of Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks. Now, the Nanooks have 39 points to their favor, while the Wildcats 9 better at a 48. Now, it has been intriguing, to say the least, to watch how these two teams face off against each other. Very physical competition tonight, as now it's going to be Chris Lee. Lee matched up with Holden. He's going to pass this one out right to Johnson, as Johnson now stops, and he's going to give it over. They're going to just tuck it deep in that right side corner now. As Sadu passes, once again, it'll get moved to Lee, as Lee's going to dish off to Sadu again, and he's going to have a wide open mid-range to take there.
He bobbled it for a little bit, too. The Wildcats' largest lead of the game has stood at 9, so they just cut it back down to 7. We'll see if the Wildcats can maybe push it to 10 with a 3-ball here.
And so now Jordan Clark, he's going to move out right against Sadu, as now he passes to Anderson. Anderson goes up and over to Brizzy, and it's the Mitch Brizzy show once more as he gets the score and the try after. An and one try for Mitch Brizzy.
Why would I think we would do anything different? Feed Mitch Brizzy, the beast down low, and he's got himself 18 points now with a chance to give the Wildcats the largest lead of the day with 10 possibly.
See, this is very interesting, Jackson, because in the first game, Capri Sims ended up with more than 20 points to her total in a double-double. And now you're getting Mitch Brizzy, who's just put up, I believe, his 19th point of the game.
It's a day of the bigs.
Yeah, and so the very, very intriguing themes here. I'd like to see the Mitch Brizzy double-double stat line come out as well. As Chris Lee, he's going to come back up and around, working against Holden, as he's going to then spin around and get 2 points easy.
Awful lot of pushing there, but no call.
Jordan Clark now to Anderson. Garrett Anderson wants to go up and over to Brizzy, and he will get it to him. Brizzy now to the corner with Sanders. Sanders to Holden. Holden to Clark. Open 3. Give it to him! Jordan Clark doing a good job of maximizing that opportunity. 54 to 43 now your score.
Yeah, he leads the league in three-point percentage, and so he's just the best shooter in the league. Get him the ball in his hands.
And a foul going to be called. It appears this one, I can't say that I saw it.
Yeah.
It's going to go against Kevin Holden. So
just find a man to pin it on, I guess.
Yeah, very intriguing there. That's Kevin Holden's third foul of the game,
yeah.
So something to keep in mind.
Well, luckily, Eli Williams has played a very big role in this game. So if Kevin does have to be pulled out of the game, Eli is definitely okay to be in that role.
A more than solid backup plan, to say the least. As now we await the inbound. It's going to be handed off, and now it pops right into Chris Lee. Lee now going to send it to Johnson. Johnson on that left side corner. Working against Holden. He's going to send it over to Lee. Lee now working against Brizzy. Trying to get him off balance. It's not going to work quite as well as he was expecting. As now the O'Keefe 3 ball will not land, and it's going to fall in the hands of Maverick Sanders. So Sanders now approaches the 3-point line, goes up and over to Brizzy, and Brizzy is blocked from behind.
Brizzy was upset about it. A little anger foul there.
Yeah, could have been one way or another. 54-43 your score, and Alaska retakes possession.
I will say our defense has looked so good this half. They have not had too many open shots. And the Wildcats is doing a good of switch defense, as well as Mitch Brizzy even doing a good job on the perimeter, which these much more agile guys, or you'd think would have the advantage. They do not.
Right. As Johnson's going to move that one over to Effenberger. Effenberger to Lee. Lee now using the screen and trying to make his way forward. He's going to instead dish out to the exterior, where the 3 ball is going to be hit by Sidhu. So now Maverick Sanders bringing it up for the Wildcats here. He's going to get his back against Lee, and now pass over to Clark. Jordan Clark driving, going up, and he's going to be fouled as he attempts it. So a couple shots coming his way.
Almost use the contact to, once again, like Garrett Anderson does so well, stay up in the air and be able to get a chance after that foul. Instead, just a little bit too soft on it, as we're going to get a timeout.
And so with that, we're going to go ahead and take one as well. When we come back, we'll have the free throws and the remainder, if as long as they'll let us go, here at the Nicholson Pavilion. '88 won the Berg, your music central. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, as the free throws are underway as we currently speak. Had a slight technical difficulty there, but we are back and we are in full force, if you will. I don't really know. As Jordan Clark now going to shoot the next one, and he's going to make the next one, making a 10-point lead for the Cats.
2 for 2 from the line on those couple shots right there, 56-46.
As now Effenberger's going to pass this one over to Lee. Chris Lee working against Kevin Holden now. Getting that shoulder drug back into him as he's going to kick it out to the outside. It is Sams Hoy with it as he passes over to Sidhu, and Sidhu will drain the 3 ball. Hey, let's let Mitch Brizzy back into this guy a little bit more.
Yeah, Sidhu can really shoot, man.
Yeah, let's get him thrown off kilter a little bit by throwing literally the biggest guy on the court at him.
That might do it.
So now Mitch Brizzy, he's going to drive. Oh. I thought we were about to see some movement.
Mobile Mitch.
As now here's Kevin Holden working against his man, and he's going to embarrass him with that one. Now Chris Lee bringing it back up for the Nanooks. He's going to stop at the three-point line, not use the screen from Sadhu. Instead, he'll kick it back to him via the back pass. Now here's Johnson working against Anderson. He's going to kick to Lee on the outside. Lee now over, and in the corner, they'll find Sadhu once more. Now driving against him, it's Effenberger. He's going to hand it off to the number 10 man, that being Sams Hoy, who will not be able to get his shot to go. It'll stall out over on the rim as Garrett Anderson is going to get a layup on the other end. So the Wildcats looking good here. Now passes up, and once again, Sams Hoy, he's going to miss the shot that occurred after the whistle as Maverick Sanders picks up another foul, his third foul of the game. And it looks like Eli Williams is going, as well as Bradley Swilly, are checking into this one. And Maverick Sanders will not come out. Instead, it'll be Kevin Holden as well as Jordan Clark coming out. And now Jamari Harris is going to come in for Maverick Sanders. Okay.
So the bench unit has come in for the Wildcats besides Garrett Anderson and Mitch Brizzy. So imagine that we're going to see the ball in those two's hands, maybe Eli Williams.
And so now the inbound going to go to Lee. Lee now to Sams Hoy. And Sams Hoy going to drive and make the pass to Sadhu. Sadhu's going to pop that one up and over and get a couple points in his favor.
Eli Williams hits the deck. Seems good to get back up. I want to see Mitch Brizzy kind of maybe at least try to get a hand in the face of the shooter, but nothing on the last drive.
Now Garrett Anderson. He's going to collapse here. Stop. Take the mid-range shot. That one is off. And now Jamari Harris ends up with it. He's going to kick out for Swilly. Swilly goes out right, puts up the shot. And it falls, but not before the whistle blows, and it's a foul against Chris Lee.
If the shot went, it would have been 3 for 3 from the mid-range for Bradley Swilly. So I really love his mid-range game. Just get him to the elbows, set him a screen at the top of the key, and let him get there.
And so the inbound pass going to go to Eli Williams. And Williams is good to go here. He's going to pass out left. Now it makes its way inside for Brizzy. Brizzy now throwing his shoulder against Sadhu as the double team comes. I would have let that develop just a little bit more, but Garrett Anderson is still going to make his way inside in an attempt to score. Unfortunately, it does not work, and here come the Nanooks. Johnson from the corner, Johnson for three.
Nanooks doing what they can to get back into this game. 6-point deficit.
And so now here's Bradley Swilly with it. He'll pass over to Brizzy. Brizzy still on the perimeter, and he's going to have to pass as he does to Jamari Harris. Now Jamari Harris gives it right back to him. And everybody's sitting on the perimeter. And, okay, so the ball gets knocked out of bounds there.
Effenberger with a very quick effort right there.
Yeah.
Jolted towards the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The way that he went in on that was very interesting to me. I thought that there might have been a little more contact than what was seen, but one way or another, it's going to be Eli Williams with it. He makes the bounce pass to Brizzy, and the foul is committed inside, so Brizzy will shoot two with just under 13 minutes remaining in this matchup.
What a pass there, too, by Eli Williams. He knew exactly where Mitch Brizzy was going to be. He wasn't even looking at the ball by the time it bounced up into his hands. He eventually got fouled, too, so we'll see two more shots at the line from Mitch Brizzy, which he's been very good at tonight. He's been good at drawing the fouls. He's been good at dropping them as well. 5 for 6 from the free throw line.
So now, awaiting the first one from Brizzy. And that one will be up and off.
Still an opportunity if he hits this next one to give the Wildcats a 7-point lead, but for now it stands at 6. As we're going to get Zevenbergen checking into the game. Not the Zevenbergen they want checking into the game, though, as their star rebounder is out for the night.
And so the second Mitch Brizzy free throw is good. 61-54 now your score. 7 points separate the two squads.
That brings Mitch Brizzy into the 20-point mark, too. Not something we see too often, but it is a delight to see tonight.
Yeah. As Sams Hoy looks like he'll be the one bringing it up for the Nanooks, and he will. Driving now and going against Maverick Sanders. He's going to get that one to go.
Sams Hoy is very strong inside despite his size.
Yeah, he's explosive is what he is. It's instant. Instant torque. He's like an EV, except without all the terrible charging necessities. As Maverick Sanders is going to hit a real nice shot there on on the flat himself.
Step back midi. Maverick Sanders has got it.
And so now here comes Chris Lee driving in. He's going to step back towards the three-point line. Working against Maverick Sanders here. He shoots it out left. It'll go that direction once more, and here comes Sams Hoy. Sams Hoy now against Eli Williams, and he's going to miss the mid-range. And Bradley Swilly up to Harris, and he's unable to throw down on that one. Took off a bit too early, as now on the other end, a three-ball missed. And so, luckily, the Wildcats don't suffer too bad of it. Okay, now a foul on the other end, and just like that, the Wildcats not looking so hot here.
Yeah, went for the dunk on the offensive end and commits the foul on the defensive end.
And a media timeout taken, so we're going to go ahead, take 1-2. When we come back, we will have the remaining 11:49 for you. '88 won the Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready to continue the broadcast for you, at least until they call yet another timeout and we are left sitting and waiting again. One way or another, the free throw shooter will be Johnson for Alaska. And we'll see how he's able to fare against the CW band, which is ever so intimidating for the free throw shooters, though maybe not so much on that first one as he'll knock it down.
He's an 82% free throw shooter, so with the band, it knocks it back down to about 75%.
And the second one will be off. So
Thank
just
you, band.
like that. Rebound goes to Maverick Sanders on the missed free throw, and here comes Jordan Clark for the Cats. He's going to stop and send it over to Sanders as Sanders hands off to Holden, who gives back to Clark. Jordan Clark now on the outside. He's going to make his way forward, stop for a moment, send it over to Sanders, who will now hit Williams. Eli Williams back over to Sanders. He's going to hit Clark in the corner. 4 seconds to work with. He drives forward, shot gets put up, it's off. And a shot clock violation there. Is not going to allow for Alaska Fairbanks to bring the ball back quite yet.
That was impressive defense from the Nanooks there, too. Wildcats not able to get a shot off, but also I noticed we were very clustered on the left wing. 3 guys over on the left wing. We need to space out the offense a little bit in order to not have all of the defenders crammed over in that area, too. We're not going anywhere with that scenario.
And so now, finally, the man has walked his way across the court to receive the inbound. I don't know why we're not in a hurry here tonight, but one way or another, Alaska Fairbanks now with the ball in their hands as Sams Hoy is going to send that one over to Lee. Lee working against Maverick Sanders now on the outside. He's going to head out left and now sends it back up for O'Keefe. O'Keefe now for Sams Hoy working against Williams. Puts it up. That one's off. Rebound Holden. And here comes
flying
Kevin
up for that
Holden
rebound,
once more.
too.
He'll come up the left side for the Cats as he's going to stop, take a deep three, and give it to him. Kevin Holden with some fireworks.
deep range. Fourth best three-point shooter in the GNAC.
9 points now separate these two teams as we approach what would be the fourth quarter of action. Sam's Hoy now going to drive against Maverick Sanders, and that one will go.
Mavericks' fourth foul of the night, and we still have essentially a quarter left of basketball if you look at it in the quarters.
Yeah.
But Maverick's going to have to find himself a way to the bench right now, I'd imagine.
You know, it's like the Eagles song. It's just one of those nights, Jackson. Just one of those nights.
Yeah, a lot of ticky-tacky fouls being called, too, because that's why we already see Kevin Holden up at 3, Jordan Clark at 2, Brizzy at 2. But it doesn't seem to be going in the same direction for the Wildcats' favor. Not doing it. Maybe it's just the way the refs are seeing it, or it's the Wildcats not doing a good enough job drawing the fouls as one falls.
Just say that I don't think the Wildcats play a very exploitative offense. I mean, I think that they play to be clean as a whistle and put a shot in, put a layup in. You know, I mean, I just don't think that there's really no one's really trying to jump over anyone here. You know what I mean?
Well,
as a foul is going to be called over here, as Eli Williams will send himself to the line.
Eli Williams doing a great job off the bench. Like I said, being that spark plug, able to come in and give your team a little bit of points when their starters need rest, and that's exactly what he has provided. 8 points with a chance at 9 and 10 here.
And adding on to that point that I had about Sam's Hoy, I mean, it really is. It's just he's jumping over people is what it looks like. It looks like he's trying to jump right up onto your shoulders when he goes in, and it's like, okay, well, if I'm up under you, there's really no way for me not to foul at this point.
Well,
so
he's got that quick first step as well as that explosive burst, jumping like he's on a trampoline.
Vertically, yeah. So one way or another, we'll see how the Wildcats are able to slow him down if they are. It's now Sam's Hoy with the ball in his hands. He's going to collapse from the three-point line, working against Williams, then dish to Johnson. Johnson now, and Jordan Clark.
Travel.
I thought it was going to be a foul against Jordan Clark for a second there, but I'm thankful that that was not the case.
I was looking at Jordan Clark up in the air instead of the feet.
And so now just under 10 minutes remaining in the matchup between these two teams. We're into what would be the fourth quarter of action.
8-point lead for the Wildcats. Largest it stood at was 10 points, but Nanook's doing a really good job of keeping this game competitive, not letting it get out of reach.
And now Kevin Holden going to drive, then dish out to Williams, who nails the three from the corner.
Man.
That's just perfect.
Sixth man of the night.
Yeah. As now Chris Lee on the outside. He's going to head out right with it, hand off. And now it's with Sam's Hoy again, who will work against Holden. And he will miss this one before no one is there to guard the second chance opportunity.
Got to have someone there boxing out, but instead they're all kind of looking like they're getting back on the offensive end.
As now Jordan Clark works against Lee. He's got Mitch Brizzy coming, but he's not going to use it. Instead, he's going to take a fadeaway shot, and that one won't go anywhere.
Seemed
Johnson
rushed
with the rebound. As now here comes Lee. He's going to stop, make his way back towards the perimeter, use the screen, and now pass it back out for his man, who will miss a three.
Lucky to see Sadhu miss that one. He has been hot from three-point range.
And so now Kevin Holden to Eli Williams. Williams now to Mitch Brizzy. As Brizzy is going to be fouled. And, you could hear Coach Rinta. Well, to be fair,
it was
to
delayed.
Coach Rinta, every foul tonight has been delayed by about 30 seconds. It feels like I'm watching a crappy, like live stream on Twitch that's 280p, and all of the chats are coming in from 2 minutes ago, and it's just,
It takes a second for it to get to the whistle, to get the noise out.
Maybe. Maybe.
Mitch Brizzy has been a beneficiary of some of those delayed calls, though, so he's had himself quite a few shots at the line. I believe shots 9 and 10 coming up.
Yeah, he's got a chance for up to his 22nd point on this trip, as he will knock down the first one. The Wildcats, of course, put in the bonus by some poor defensive play by the Nanooks recently. Now the second free throw coming. Give him both. So Mitch Brizzy, 22 points on the night so far.
Consistent from the line, too. We would not be where we are at without him. 8 for 10.
Chris Lee, he's going to head out right with it. Now drive. And under the basket, he stops once again as he goes up and over Garrett Anderson. It will not work, and Anderson will pass up to Kevin Holden to get things started.
Chris Lee uses his hands a lot, kind of wraps around the defender's waist, I'm noticing.
So now Kevin Holden uses a couple of dribble moves, dishes out to his man. Garrett Anderson gets an open look, and he's unable to convert.
Kevin Holden to the stands.
Yeah, he went running right up those steps.
I wanted to see Garrett Anderson make that one extra pass to Eli Williams. He's been hot from three-point tonight, and like I said earlier on in the game, I want to see us feed the hot hand, and that's exactly what Eli Williams is right now. Mitch Brizzy, Eli Williams, and Garrett Anderson, to be fair, but one extra pass, and Eli Williams is wide open. I don't know what they're...
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's
save some
keep
clock.
More time on the clock. As Chris Lee going to pass this one out left. It's going to go that direction once more. Sam's Hoy's got it. He's going to drive, and a foul is going to be called. I'm not sure I saw where that must have happened at, but one way or another.
I'm hoping they call it on the floor. Well, either way, I guess they're in the bonus. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You get trigger happy with that whistle, and eventually now we're 8 minutes away from the end of this matchup, and both teams are in the bonus. So unless we're playing perfect basketball, this game just got about 10 minutes longer. As now Sam's Hoy gets ready to shoot free throws.
Sam's Hoy having himself a night, 18 points on the game.
And this one's missed.
Wow.
The band just doing their job well tonight. Let me tell you, they don't have guys trying to hypnotize you shooting free throws in Alaska.
No, they
but
don't.
Down here in the mainland United States. As now Jordan Clark, he's going to step back to the three-point line, take the three and miss it. There's no rebound by the Cats here. It'll instead fall to number 14, Zevenbergen of the other end. There's now Chris Lee going to drive forward, and he's going to miss his layup.
Man.
Oh, we're playing volleyball out here. As now Zevenbergen's going to make a three.
You cannot leave any shooters open. They will drain them.
Yeah. Now Eli Williams over to Garrett Anderson. Anderson's going to drive, and he's going to get 2 points in response.
Just head down, drive to the basket. Garrett Anderson using his length and versatility to get that one into the basket.
Now Chris Lee, he's going to try and drive forward instead he'll dish back to Zevenbergen, who will now come up and around the loop, kick it to the outside in Effenberger to O'Keefe, and he's going to miss the shot.
Oh,
Save
no
it
way.
Back in bounds. Send it back out for Lee. Lee now back to Sam's Hoy, and it's O'Keefe again for three. I don't understand how the same guy has been left unguarded from three multiple times in a row, but that happens, I guess. Eli Williams now will have the ball for the Wildcats as just about 6 minutes and 30 seconds remain in this matchup. Eli Williams takes the three, misses.
Oh, man. He was feeling himself there, and I'm not surprised that he took it. He had the space for it, just couldn't get it to fall.
So now here's Lee on the other end. He's going to drive forward, step back a couple of times, take the three, miss the three. Rebound, Mitch Brizzy.
What in the James Harden step back was that?
Yeah, that was a real long reach that he had there. And a foul going to be called against Lee. That'll send Kevin Holden to the line.
Kevin Holden, like I said earlier when he shot a couple of free throws, one of our best free throw shooters on the team's third best to be exact, following Garrett Anderson and Jordan Clark.
And so they're going to call a timeout. We'll take one, too. Be back with you in just a moment on 88.1 The Berg. 88.1 The Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts as we get ready for the final 6 minutes and 7 seconds of this matchup between the Wildcats and the Nanooks. Jackson, what are you looking forward to in this final stretch?
I'm looking forward to more Eli Williams. While he's been a bench player tonight, he's still seeing more time on the floor, but I'm also looking forward to when Mitch Brizzy checks back down out onto the floor. I want to see him go after Sadu again. That seemed like the recipe to success earlier on in the first half.
And so the first free throw will be up and good for Kevin Holden. And yeah, you know, I just hope that we see some clean basketball down the line, and that I hope that both of these two teams continue to play with a good bit of effort, because frankly, what I'm not trying to see is another 10-minute, or not 10-minute, but 10-point separation, and then, you know, you get into the foul game at the end of things, and it's like, come on, what are we doing?
Well,
as the shot's going to be missed, rebound goes to Jordan Clark. Clark now up to Holden. Holden to Anderson. He was open for a sec, and he's going to make himself open as he gets a two-pointer from inside.
Let the man work. I won't judge him for what he does. He can pass up on a three-pointer to drive to the basket for the easy lay.
And so Lee now with it. He's going to pass to his man, and Sams Hoy. Sams Hoy now to Johnson, taking the fadeaway mid-range. That dude's taken about 18 of those tonight and made 3, I believe, as here's Garrett Anderson. Anderson on the outside getting swarmed as he sends it over to Williams. Now Eli Williams goes up and over to Clark. Clark attempting to go inside for Brizzy, has it taken away. And now here's Lee. Lee working against Sanders. He's going to pass, and it'll find its way in Sams Hoy's possession. Now he'll drive against Holden. Pass out for Johnson. Johnson coming on in. And he's going to take yet another spinning mid-range, and it's off again.
It's just too easy to tell when he's about to do it.
It really is. As now here's Kevin Holden. He's going to move it to Williams, who will Euro-step his way to almost the shot there. Instead, Garrett Anderson's going to take home the rebound. And so now here is Kevin Holden. Holden to Garrett Anderson. Anderson to Williams. Williams to Clark, and Clark to Sanders. Sanders to Holden. Holden for 3. 3 ball is good.
Wow, it's just time to drain some clock and then eventually hope you have an open shot, and that's exactly what they got. 17-point lead for your Wildcats.
And so now it'll once again be Lee bringing it up for the Nanooks. Whistles blow.
It's really starting to get out of hand here. Wildcats driving away with it as we get some discussion from the two referees.
I'm not sure that I heard what it is that they were discussing. Oh, okay. Well, hey, on the bright side, they were able to expedite the legal process that it takes to change the shot clock 2 seconds. So that was wonderful. I'm so baffled by that. That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Now Lee going to inbound it. It'll find its way to Effenberger. As now he's going to send this one out right to Sadu. Sadu now going to pass it, and it will be an easy shot.
Don't know where the defense was at all. Kind of caught slack in there.
So now here's Jordan Clark. He's got Lee up on him. He's got Maverick Sanders right there, and that's who's going to get the pass. Now it's back to Clark. Clark looks like he wants the screen from Sanders. It wasn't even set. And so now the pass is back out for Anderson. Anderson to the outside for Holden. Holden steps back from three-point range. We'll see what he's able to do here with 3 seconds remaining. He's going to wing it over to Sanders, who takes the 3 and is fouled while missing. So just under 3.5 minutes remain now, and Maverick Sanders has 3 free throws coming.
I'm happy to see Maverick Sanders get a couple shots here. We haven't got to see too much action from Mav tonight. Only 4 points on the game. And it's mainly just been seen on the defensive end more than anything.
And with just about every foul that we've gotten, we're also going to get a media timeout alongside it. So we'll talk to you guys in just a little bit when they release us from our inhibitions and we feel the rain on our skin. 88 won the Berg, your music central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We've got just under 3.5 minutes remaining in this matchup as we get ready for free throws from Maverick Sanders. He's got 3 of them coming here.
Our first 3 free throw sighting we'll see of the night. Something we don't see too often, at least I don't think I have seen in the GNAC this season, was teams fouling much on the three-point shots.
And so Maverick's going to hit the first one. It makes it an 83-67 game.
You know something that would surprise me? Maverick Sanders and Mitch Brizzy shoot the same efficiency from the free throw line.
Really?
Yeah, 75%.
Intriguing.
And that's just, I think that's a testament to how good Mitch Brizzy is as a free throw shooter for a big man.
Well, he is going to get all 3 of those to go. So that makes it a 18-point lead for the Wildcats now. As Lee going to approach for the Nanooks on the other end. He's going to pass out left to his man in Zevenbergen, who will then give it right back to him. Now Lee working against Williams. He's going to make his way inside, take the rotating mid-range.
They're going to call that a foul. I think I saw a moving screen right before, and I think so did Coach Renta. He was screaming moving.
That was a very, very intriguing foul, especially with them calling that one against Eli Williams.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And so
the
now,
refs don't like it, or the fans don't like it either. They're kind of letting the refs hear it.
As they should, frankly. I mean, one way or another, if they're, hey, let me tell you, no one else is going to call them out.
Well,
so
like I said, or like you've been mentioning, Ron, they're kind of taking the pace out of the game too.
Well, that's
with
just
all of these ticky-tack fouls. It feels like it's just taking away from the game itself.
Well, exactly. You know, Jackson, sometimes people who really want to be involved in the game really want to be involved in the game, if you know what I mean. As this one's going to be sent in to Kevin Holden. Kevin Holden's going to bring it across court for the Cats as he sends it over to Garrett Anderson. Anderson now waiting the next man, and it'll be Eli Williams. Williams heading out right, hands it off to Clark. Clark now back up top for Holden. Holden now to Anderson. He's going to drive, and he's going to miss on the inside. Rebound now goes to the Nanooks, and bringing it up is Zevenbergen. He's going to approach, get his man jumping, then kick out to Sidhu. Will be for the 3 is going to be put up and nailed by Effenberger.
Quick shot there, too. He was turning around as he was shooting it. Surprised he was able to drain that one.
Now Eli Williams bringing it up for the Wildcats. He's going to...
Whoa.
Yeah, that's an obvious foul if I've ever seen one. I don't even know what that was.
Saw some tackle football going on there.
Yeah, very intriguing.
Looked like a linebacker coming at the running back. Man, he just came and trucked him.
Well, one way or another, that's going to result in free throws for Eli Williams, so he's got a chance to push his scoring total up to as much as 15 points here.
What a game it's been from the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying here. As he's going to put up the first one, and it will not fall. So maybe the charity stripe, not the most comfortable a place.
Well, the three-point line sure is. He's been shooting comfortably from out there on the night, 3 for 4 from the three-point line.
Wow. And now the next shot put up and knocked it down. So 1 for 2 from the charity stripe there goes Eli Williams. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remain. Let's see what the Nanooks are able to do and if they're able to get something going here in the final stages. As now here's Paul Johnson. Johnson driving inside. He's going to put it up and make it. Again, it's like, okay, foul.
I was about to say that I think they should just, at this point, just shoot three-point shots trying to get back into the game, but they're getting the and-one opportunities inside the paint.
What I'm saying is we're scoring every time that we go down to the other side of the court. Yep. They're not. Just let them get the layup. Yep. Like, at this point,
and then
you're
just drain
going home the same way.
You have 30-second shot clocks here in college basketball. Just sit there at the top of the key or on the Wildcat logo and just dribble it out.
Yeah. As now it's going to be a missed free throw brought in by Garrett Anderson. He's going to give it to Eli Williams. And the Wildcats will start over again here. Just under 2 minutes now.
Yeah, I was going to say 10-second violation was coming up. They just could not get across the half court.
And this has really just been a intriguing time. I feel like I've seen it really did feel like I watched them spend way more time back there than what that was. But who knows? Maybe the guys over at the NFL made a call in and we had a script change one way or another. 86-74 your score, folks. Timeout on the court, so we're going to take one too. Be back with you in just a moment. '88 won the Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, the referee admitted to being wrong during the break.
But nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed, yeah. So, again, another reason why we need referee challenges here in NCAA basketball. But
we have the review.
Besides, yeah, there's the review, but you can't challenge that you can't issue that as a coach.
Yeah.
As now it's going to be Sam Hoy driving in, putting it up, and missing. Rebound goes to Maverick Sanders. And he's going to pass. I swear, there's no point.
Yeah, so a few more free throw shots coming up for your Wildcats. I would imagine these would be the last couple ones because, I mean, it really feels like it is out of reach for the Nanooks, but going to try to do whatever they can to get back into this game. 12-point deficit for the Nanooks in 1:40 to go.
And so Sanders, first one is up and good.
Saw him knock down 3 just a minute ago. Now shooting 4 for 4 from the line, looking to go 100% with another one.
The second shot now coming from Sanders. And he's got it. 88-74 now your score. 14 points separate these two teams. With about 1.5 minutes remaining in this matchup, Lee takes the 3, misses. Rebound Sanders. And Maverick Sanders going to pass it over to Jordan Clark. Clark to get to Anderson, and Anderson to Sanders. Sanders attempts to make a pass over into the corner for Williams, but it's poked out of bounds.
Quick hands by the Nanook defenders, but like I said, it's just about out of reach now as we're going to get a substitution here.
And a timeout is called, so we'll take one too. Be back with you in a moment. '88 won the Berg, your Music Central, as well as the CW Athletics live stream. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Gildersleeve here alongside Jackson Roberts. 1:22 remaining in this one, as yet another timeout has put us in a position where we are waiting on honestly, you know what I'm waiting on? I'm waiting on answers to the question of what exactly was discussed during that last timeout. Now, one way or another, it isn't going to change much as Central Washington leads handedly, and that's only going to make it better. Jordan Clark gonna stomp that nail down into the casket. Wow. As now Sam Hoy is going to take one on the other end, and the same way that the rest of them have worked for him all night, that's just not going to work. 45 seconds remain. Garrett Anderson. Listen, what are we doing here? Like, I understand that, tensions get high. but you've lost.
It is a 17-point deficit. I don't quite know what they're fouling to get back into, but just
they're just fouling to foul. It's just this is foul behavior.
Foul behavior.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Everybody sees the game different. Everyone's philosophy is a little bit different from each other's.
You know who does like it? Maverick Sanders. He's now at the line for the 6th time in the last 3 minutes, getting his points up, has a chance to get up to double digits, but I think that's the most we could get out of it.
Yeah, it's quite the intriguing scenario as he gets ready to shoot the second of 2.
Kamalu Vargas will look to check into this game for the final 43 seconds after the shot. Same with Noah Pepper.
Incredible. Maybe we might see them on the free throw line. And Kobe Parlin. We might see them at the free throw lines after. Oh, and Jamari Harris is on. So the entire bench unit going to enter the matchup for the Wildcats here.
As we're going to get Krug checking back into the game, too.
He'll come in for Sidhu.
Looking to grab the rebound here if there is a miss from Maverick Sanders.
And then, of course, they'll heave it up, and it will be the – never mind. That one's going to fall for Maverick Sanders. And just like that, it is an 18-point lead for the Wildcats. There's 43 seconds left in the game. We'll see what the Nanooks have in store. Of course, you didn't come all this way to just stop playing at some point. So, one way or another, this one's poked out of bounds. That's Wildcat basketball. There'll be 32 seconds on the clock.
Just a 2-second difference between the shot clock and game clock.
And Parlin, he's going to send this one into – oh, my. So, okay, cool.
We got one more possession for the Nanooks.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the recreational activities period of the basketball game, where we're playing tag and freeze tag and such on the court while we wait for the clock to expire. As now on the other end, a foul going to be committed by the Wildcats.
There's no reason for Kobe Parlin to be being that aggressive right there.
No.
Except they're going to call it on Pepper. I did not see it on Pepper there. I saw it more on Parlin, but regardless, 2 free throw shots coming up for Quatarius Mingo.
And so the first one is up and off.
If he misses one more, everyone, Carl's Juniors, find your local Carl's Juniors. Actually, Ellensburg Carl's Juniors. That's the only spot it'll be at. But you can be there for some free burgers. If Mingo misses this next one.
Miss it. Miss it. Miss it. Oh. I would have booed if I was in the crowd. Unfortunately, I won't now, but one way or another happens. Xavier Kamalu Vargas going to move it up to Williams. Williams to Pepper. Just hold on to it at this point. As now Williams is going to hold it. He's got to, You know, it's kind of like when you're holding a piece of food that your dog really wants in your hand, and it's like he's just up in your face, like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And it's like, dog, you know you're not getting this from me. One way or another, folks, your Wildcats win it by 17, 92-75, and it was a great matchup at that, let me tell you, folks. Jackson, what can you tell me about this one? Who's your player of the game?
I think it's got to be Mitch Brizzy. It seemed like the offense fully ran through Mitch, whether he was in the paint backing men down or using his size and frame to get up to the basket, but also dish out to the open man, because we started to see him receiving those double teams. But he's just so efficient from the paint, 67% from the field coming into the game anyways. Mr. Efficiency, that's the name of his game. Get him close to the basket, he can let it fall.
Yeah, one way or another, folks, I'm going to have to agree with that there. Mitch Brizzy, easily the player of the game for your Wildcats here. We're going to go ahead and send it off tonight. So for Ryan Gildersleeve, for Jackson Roberts, for 88.1 The Berg, and your CW Athletics live stream, we are signing off.